Hillary Clinton, the Fed, and a way to keep malls from sinking. All fodder for our panel today. With us, Sabrina Schaefer. She's here in town in New York, Forbes contributor and Independent Women's Forum executive director. Catherine Mangu-Ward, Reason Magazine managing editor, and our own Adam Shapiro. Let's start with the market and its failed attempts today to regain any ground after yesterday's 333-point loss. Will a shaky market scare off Janet Yellen from a rate hike? Adam, what do you think? Oh, Adam can't talk. Okay, there he goes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, they're turning the mic on. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
No, scare her off because the Fed has in its mind, one, that we're almost at full employment. Inflation is not where they would like it, but they really can't do much to juice wages. That's what they're upset about, but there's very little they can do. But they do know that they've got to start reining in their spending, the balance sheet. And bottom line is the dollar's getting stronger with just the talk of it. So, yes, she will continue.
Well, Sabrina, some people look at her and see a dove. She's known to be kind of dovish in her views about monetary policy, but when Alan Greenspan was head of the Fed, she was actually a hawk. Here's what John Hilsenrath wrote about her a couple of years ago. Janet Yellen worried about the booming stock market and urged Alan Greenspan to raise short-term interest rates to head off inflation, advice that he declined. So could she be more hawkish than most people realize?
Yeah, I think this notion that she's a dove is actually a misrepresentation. If we look back to the 1990s when there was strong economic growth, we saw that she was in favor of tightening the belt. So I think that that's going to be an interesting sort of picture here. I'm actually hoping that this does happen sometime soon, maybe in June, because I want to encourage more savings. As job creation is increasing, we want to encourage people to save more.
So, Catherine, is she going to hold tight, or will she kind of give in to what the market's doing?
I mean, I have to say maybe Janet Yellen is the John Kerry of market rates, right? Maybe she was for it before she was against it, before she's for it again. We just have to wait and see.
All right. Well, Hillary Clinton's email press conference yesterday got all the news. Just seems to have made matters worse, with more questions raised about how and with whom she deleted tens of thousands of emails that she claims were just personal. So will Democrats have to choose a serious alternate just in case? Sabrina, what do you think?
Well, I'm wondering the same thing, and I've been going through a list of people. Who could this be? Could it be Elizabeth Warren? Her policies would be disastrous for the country. Could it be Andrew Cuomo? Well, he's in an email scandal of his own right now. Could it be Jerry Brown? I'm from California. I think are bad. The one person that worries me almost the most is Kirsten Gillibrand. I think her policies, she has that sort of girl next door quality, but if you look at her policies, especially her Family Act, I think it would be disastrous.
Well, Catherine, we're looking for somebody who's more moderate and somebody who's more business friendly than President Obama has been. We didn't even mention Bernie Sanders, by the way. He's also in the running.
He is, God help us. And, there was a lot of joking in my Twitter feed about, like, the, Biden-Warren ticket. But I don't think we should count Hillary out yet. Yes, it was a disastrous press conference. Yes, this doesn't look great for her. At the same time, the Hillary Clinton has shown that she can come back from a lot worse
absolutely.
than that.
And Adam, nobody is counting her out. You'd be silly to do that. The Clinton machine is the strongest political machine I've ever seen in my lifetime. However, do the Democrats have to line up an alternative to her?
No, the Democrats need to get their house in order. There's a whole left wing of the Democratic Party that can't stand the Clintons because they are far more centrist than the current administration. That's their biggest problem. The other problem for Hillary Clinton has nothing to do with all of these very important issues. It's the fact that the people, right or wrong, love her husband. They don't love her.
That's true. I agree. All right, let's move on. America's malls, they seem to be dying a slow death, but a Canadian developer wants to change the whole concept of malls, turning them into little amusement parks, ski slopes, water parks, a sea lion show, a submarine ride, a performing arts area. They even have a Ferris wheel and a roller coaster, and they are betting $4 billion on the project. Catherine, could this bring malls back?
Anytime I hear about a project like this, my first thought is always, let's check into the crony capitalism situation. And lo and behold, the same developer has a similar project going in New Jersey. It's been 10 years in the making, I think. It's still not done. We had a $400 million bailout by the taxpayers a couple of years back after an $800 million bond. This is exactly the that is catnip to local politicians and is always a disaster for taxpayers.
As my great-great-great-great-grandfather who never existed in Scotland would say, it's crap. It's crip, and here's why. That project in New Jersey had a ski slope. We have snow in this part of the world. It's a nightmare. And Norm Brayman and others in South Florida actually led the fight against the government helping build stadiums and bailouts. Yeah, so good luck getting the dollars needed for this thing. But why would you build a covered stadium in Florida?
Stand up for this idea. I guess it's left for me to do that. Sabrina, you got to do something to get all the couch potatoes off of their butts, to bring the families back together, and maybe to revive the malls. Is this going to do it? It's like a little Disneyland.
I know, and I just got back from Disney World, so I thought maybe it would be a good idea, but the first thing that comes to my mind is I have 3 children. Can you imagine lugging around all your shopping bags and you're going on a
You go to the beach in Miami.
Sounds like a nightmare.
But that's the point. You don't have to go to Disney World. You don't have to take a plane ride to go to an amusement park.
Like,
you can do it at your own mall.
And then you have to go to the Ferris wheel. I don't know. It sounds horrifying.
All right.
They got the falls. They got Dadeland. They got a ton of malls down there. They'd rather go to the beach.
3 out of 3 panelists think the same thing about this, that it's just a boondoggle. Thank you, Sabrina Schaefer, Catherine Mangu-Ward, and, of course, Adam Shapiro. By the way, you can catch Sabrina Schaefer, among other Forbes guests, every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Fox News Channel. It's a great show. You don't want to miss it.